Nathan's combat class with Jason had turned dangerous. Nathan never backed out of a fight, but today was personal.
One day, I'll make your father my slave and piss on him.
And that was when Nathan lost his cool. Little did Nathan know, it was a fatal mistake.
Headmaster, stop the duel! Nathan, yield, please! I yield.
Not enough for me.
Trumpets announced the start of the opening ceremony as the three High Lord houses, the Lightstones, the Ravens, and the Hales, entered the stadium with hundreds of attendants and took their seats at the very front, behind the Duke's own representatives. Next to enter were the 10 smaller noble houses, each one to follow less impressive than the one before. A few houses had several dozen members, but most were fairly small. By far the smallest, of course, was House Hayfield, which entered the stadium last and took seats at the back of the lower stands set aside for nobles. Compared to any of the great High Lord houses, the Hayfield family's decline looked even starker than ever before, considering it was only Ulrich, Amelia, and Nathan, with no attendants by their sides. At this time, one of the Duke's representatives, clad in white and silver robes, stood up and made his way into the center of the dueling square. The roar of the crowd died down as he opened his arms up toward the heavens. His hands clapped together and echoed out over the space, shushing any careless whisperers who failed to pay attention. Finally, when silence fell over the stadium, his voice boomed out to those in the crowd. "My fellow citizens of Godricshall, the sky is bright and beautiful with no clouds on the horizon. Clearly, the heavens wish to have a good view of our trials this day. As many of you know, this examination is no simple test. Oh, no. This is the day when new lords shall be born, new houses shall rise, and old houses shall fall, all by the grace of the heavens and through the might of the sword. I hereby declare the start of the aristocracy examination." The stadium's crowd went wild as the many thousands clapped and cheered all at once, filling the entire city with thunderous applause. They had all waited for this moment for a decade, and finally it had come. As Nathan took in the enormity of the moment, he caught a glimpse of a man's eyes on him. As he stared down to the very front rows, he spotted the High Lord Raven himself. For the first time, he saw the man who wished to destroy his family. As Remus sneered threateningly at Nathan in return, Nathan merely scoffed with amusement at the man's expression. Nathan knew that, finally, their fates would be decided, and he was relieved that the time of skullduggery and anxiously waiting around was over. After all, one house must rise, while another must fall. It took a long time for the throngs of onlookers in the Godricshall Plaza Stadium to quiet down. The host of the event, Duke Godricson's representative, waited for everyone to finish their applause before continuing. "The rules of this nobility examination have not changed since the very beginning, and will not change now. Therefore, I shall move on to the announcement of challenges." This applause was much shorter than the first one, as many recalled how this ceremony worked. The way it usually worked, the status of the three high houses was unshakable, so the day's fun would likely play out with the lower-tiered noble families, the 10 weaker houses whose strength was always in question. Those were the houses that had to often use their blades to keep their family power prevalent. The crowd buzzed with gamblers betting on the outcomes of the matches. Although the lineup of the duels had yet to be announced, the bets were based on the most likely matchups and outcomes. Nathan smiled as he looked above him to where Hilda Moonweaver frantically placed her bets. Nathan turned back to his father and sighed. He knew this was it. Soon, his family would know what he had signed them up for at the registration table. This time, 4 noble houses have been challenged, and 4 common families have issued challenges. Common House Western challenges House Barclay. Common House Mole challenges House Coldbrook. Common House Song challenges House Wellhart. Common House Crane challenges House Hayfield. However, only 3 noble houses have accepted their challenges. House Hayfield has declined to defend its title against the Cranes. Hilda Moonweaver squealed with delight as everyone around her furrowed their brows. Frantic whispers and murmurings cut through the crowd. I thought the Songs Challenge would be interesting, but what's with House Hayfield giving up its title just like that? This is crazy. Why hand over your land and title so easily? Why would House Hayfield do this? Don't they hate House Crane because of their allegiance to House Raven? Carlton Crane and his son John jumped out of their seats in shock. They chest-bumped each other and screamed out victoriously as Ulrich's mouth fell agape. Ulrich whipped around towards Nathan and anxiously gripped his son's hand. Lad, did you tell me you didn't do this on purpose? Ulrich's face grew even more puzzled as his mood began to sour. Moments earlier, he was confident that his family stood a good chance at keeping its title, or at least defending it honorably against the Cranes and the Ravens. But now, his expectations were thrown off. If what the host had said was true, Ulrich could only watch as his family's ancestral titles were snatched away from him after a few choice words. Nathan took his father's hand and tried to calm him as Ulrich stood up frantically. Father, it's all right. Just listen to me. Nathan, if you made a mistake on the registration, or if there's some sort of statistical error, we have to fix it. We should go down to the host and explain it to him immediately. Otherwise, we may be too late. Amelia frowned at her father's tone. Nathan, what did you do? What's going on? Nathan finally stood and faced his father and Amelia. Father, sister, listen to me, please. Everything will make sense in a moment. Just trust me on this, okay? Ulrich and Amelia shared a glance. Neither of them could understand why Nathan was so calm and collected at this moment. Sighing, Ulrich reluctantly sat back down and shook his head. Oh, lad, of course I trust you. It's just, I don't understand it. Just keep listening, Father. Just keep listening. The murmurs from the crowd grew even louder and more frenzied as the common folk pondered this strange turn of events. Why wouldn't the Hayfields accept the challenge? Are they really cowards after all? Of course they didn't accept the challenge. These past few years, their power has waned, and the family line has weakened more and more. I mean, just look at their lineup. Only the 3 of them, and Lady Hayfield isn't a spiritual warrior at all. Shouldn't matter how weak the family is. The honorable thing to do would be to fight on anyway. What a shameful display from a so-called noble house. Imagine the look on the faces of all the ancestors of the Hayfield line. They must be frowning up in the heavens as we speak. The disapproving gazes seared into Ulrich and Amelia as they sat uncomfortably. Both of their faces dripped with perspiration and flushed red from embarrassment. Only Nathan took the disapproving looks with ease, showing almost no reaction whatsoever. The host's clapping echoed out over the arena, silencing the murmurs and bringing all eyes back on him. As I was saying, I shall now announce the last of the challenges that have been put forth. The final challenge of the aristocracy examination is against the High House Raven.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.